What's
Ah,
up, everyone?
how's everyone doing? Today we got Spider-Man versus Batman.
Our very first Versus episode, and many more to come.
Now, today for the episode, we were thinking we would take one of their best iterations, which comes from gaming. It will be Batman Arkham versus Spider-Man from Insomniac.
And of course, I think Batman would win.
Spider-Man's gonna win it. I'm just saying, he has stuff that Batman does not have. Powers is definitely one of them.
That is true. That is true. All right, let's go down this list. All right, let's see. Let's talk about their features. What does Spider-Man got?
Spider-Man has strength. He has a high IQ. He has agility, speed, gadgets, and something Batman doesn't have, spider sense.
That's true. And what Batman has peak human strength. He's very agile, great agility. He's fast. Also very intelligent. Loads of gadgets, and he has lots of vehicles. The Batwing, the
The Batmobile
Batmobile, the Batcycle, all that,
and money.
and money. Spider-Man doesn't have money.
Sadly, he's
Sadly.
in poverty.
Yes.
So we also have teams from they've been with. Batman was with his Bat family.
Yes.
Jason Todd, Red Hood, Nightwing. He had Robin. He had Batgirl, Oracle.
And of course, he's the founding member of one of the greatest superhero teams of all time, the Justice League.
Right. Still part time.
And then sometimes he's the leader of the Justice League.
That's true.
That is true. In some cases,
He should be
in
there.
some cases, I think he should be.
Yes.
In some cases, he is the leader.
He should be the leader.
In some cases, it's Superman. It depends on like how they're going with this. But in some cases, Batman is like the leader of the Justice League.
Right. With Spider-Man, we have the Avengers. Of course, we've seen Tom Holland. We've seen how that went. And we had him in Fantastic Four. He was also one of the parts of Fantastic Four called Future Foundation, all their white and black suit, when Johnny Storm was away. So I thought that was cool.
He was also in the New Avengers, the X-Men. He was also part of the X-Men too, if you think about it.
He did team up with the X-Men.
And and he did actually.
And what other feats do you want to talk about, Noah?
All right, so let's talk about Arkham Batman's story. So Arkham Batman has four games. We're just gonna talk about the main games, not the
We're not counting Suicide Squad. We're not going to count the VR one.
not the mobile ones, just the basic Xbox, PS 4 games. Are like I'll go through chronological order. You have Arkham Asylum, you have Arkham City, then Arkham Origins, then Arkham Knight. We're just gonna talk about those. So I'm gonna start off with Origins because
That's where it all began.
that's where it all
That's
began.
where it all began.
That's where it all began. So what Origins is about is, so I think it was like 2 years into his career as Batman. So it starts off with Black Mask breaking into Blackgate Prison. He teams up with Killer Croc to kill Commissioner Lowe, and then when he tries to apprehend Black Mask, he escapes, but he runs into Killer Croc. And then when he faces Killer Croc, he actually did pretty good against him. He even though he used some tactics like he used the Batcape to like wind up a little bit to like
Block his vision.
like
He
kind of like wipe his senses, like make him dizzy, and then he kind of like lands a great deal of punches on him too, and he does. And then in a move where Killer Croc throws him, he tries to bite him, like bite his head off, but Batman grabs him by the face and able to withstand that, headbutts him, and then kicks him. And then when he defeats Killer Croc, it shows Batman into a cutscene where he runs to him, like runs like up. Sorry, I can't speak. He runs up across his body, kicks him in the face, lands back on his feet. Killer Croc then falls into the gate, gets his arm trapped in the gate, and then Batman traps his other arm too and starts punching him and knocks him out in what? 4 punches?
I say 4.
4, yeah, I think it was 4. 3 to like interrogate, and then the one was like to knock him out. So yeah, I think in that case he did. And then we'll talk about the other ones, but in the main storyline, he also faces Deathstroke, who was also a more advanced super soldier than Captain America. You can look that up, by the way. And so and Deathstroke also has a great number of features too, probably even more advanced than Batman. But Batman trained himself in that capacity and that capability to face off that powerful, like those powerful enemies like that, and he was able to do it. So, and then and the other he fought Firefly too, which even though Firefly just has a jetpack with wings and uses a flamethrower, but like Batman, he was able to grapple onto him and hold him for quite a bit. And those jetpacks they fly very fast.
They do.
They fly very fast, and you can see. And then he was able to like hold him, grapple onto him, and then speed him up. And then he did fight Bane in that earlier scenario, but like I'll just talk about the Bane fight in general. And then when he fought Bane, he was able to do the same thing with Killer Croc. He used his cape to like make him dizzy, like blind his senses, and then he starts landing a great deal of punches on him. And then he does a spinning back kick to the face with Bane, and it knocked Bane like probably like 5 feet back.
Right.
And then he did it again, and then in the ending of Arkham Origins, he did it again he fought Bane again, and he also did it with Bane again. And then when Bane took the TN1, which is a more advanced that like Titan, which made him bigger and stronger, he tried to defeat him, and then Bane threw Batman against the wall. Bane landed like 2 punches on him, and he was able to withstand that.
Right.
He even punched him through the wall too. Remember that?
I do. And then
2 punches, and then the third one punched him right through the wall.
and then I believe he lost his memory after that too.
Yes.
Because he was getting electrocuted at the
No, it's the TN1 affects his memory.
Oh.
Because the when you take something like that, it will damage your neurological system too. Right? It will damage anything in your body too if you take something like that. Because it can be very toxic, but it can be very beneficial. Like some drugs are beneficial too, but they also have side effects.
I agree.
So it's like a very powerful drug he took. Then and then he used his back claw to like latch him onto the electrical poles and electrocute him. And then I'm gonna probably leave it at that, and then I'm gonna have John talk about the first Spider-Man. And I think we can work on from there. Like I'll talk about the first game, you talk about the first game, I'll talk about the next 2 games.
Okay. With Spider-Man in his first game, in the opening sequence, he fights Kingpin and goes through his entire building. He's thrown into walls, he's thrown into pipes, before that he was holding up a building. So I feel like Spider-Man, like I was saying, he was fighting him through walls.
Let's talk about Kingpin. What features does Kingpin have?
He is super strong.
Was he born like that, or
No.
did he go
I
some
don't
under?
think he was born like that.
Did he go some under experiment to make him very strong like that?
I don't think so either. That's wrong. I don't remember.
So the origins of Kingpin is unknown.
Yeah.
But let's say he's like strong as Spider-Man. Let's put it that.
Yeah, if not strong. So he's fighting Kingpin, does some takedowns, but then at the same time, Kingpin's overpowering him, throwing him everywhere. He has guards helping him out as well. So right after that, Spider-Man is thrown into the ground. He pulls Kingpin in with him, and then just starts landing as many attacks as he can, webs him up for the police, and then they arrest him.
Now let's talk about Spider-Man's gadgets. I kind of want to just bring just the web shooters.
Yeah.
Just web shooters.
Just web shooters.
How strong are his webs?
His webs are, well, of course, very sticky. I'd say probably
They're very rigid too.
they are.
They are very rigid.
I'm gonna say
And he doesn't.
thousands.
And he creates his own webs with the power of chemistry. He's able to create a substance that recreates the spider webs that spiders use, and probably makes them stronger.
Yeah. And with those webs, he's able to hold buildings. He's able to hold trains, cars. He's able to hold people.
And it's not
like
with a single shot of web. He has to use many.
Yeah.
But the basic premise of spider webs, like they're very strong. Like if he uses a lot of them, they'll be able to withstand. But he can't use like a single one. In some cases he can. But he has to like use himself too. Like never in Spider-Man, the first one was Tobey Maguire. He had the web hanging on like Mary Jane. He had the kids in that cart.
Right.
So like that's how strong it is too. But it was very thick.
I was gonna say
His webs were very thick too.
those are also organic from that time too.
True. Well, we just talked about the webs here, but that's how basically how strong his webs are. They're very thick. They're very like rigid.
He's able to hold his own body mass. He weighs like close to 200, if not over 200 pounds. Yeah.
Really? Yeah. That was like 160 because he's short, isn't he?
Well, you in this game he's.
Oh, let's talk. Wait here. Let's talk about this. So, the basic, mechanically, Batman's what 6'2",
He's
two. I say 6'2",
6'2", 6'3".
6'2", 6'3", weighing 200 like 220 to 230 pounds. Say around that.
Yeah.
And what was Spider-Man?
Spider-Man, I would probably say.
Mechanically, he's like 5'8".
Yeah, like 5'8", 5'10", 5'9", somewhere like close to 5'10". I'd say 195 to 200, like somewhere between that.
Like 180, like he's very light to like 180.
Yeah.
Say around. Let's say 180, 200.
All right, we'll just go with that. He's able to hold his own body mass. He's able to carry people along with him, and not to mention, we already mentioned he can use more than one web to hold a bigger vehicle or anything that he needs to at the time. What else do you want to go at?
I think. And then we'll talk about the game. Like, who does he face in the game?
He faces off with the Sinister Six in this game,
And who's the Sinister Six?
which enlists Doctor Octopus. He has Electro, Rhino, Vulture, Mr. Negative, and Scorpion. With Scorpion, he has Venom when he stabs Spider-Man with it, or just throws it at him.
Paralyzes them.
Yeah, paralyzes him. He goes into like a state where he feels like he's in a different world almost, and just in his mind, like how Scarecrow with his toxins. There's Rhino with his superhuman strength. He's stronger than Kingpin. He's probably stronger than Spider-Man even. Then, not to mention, he doesn't have that just suit that he has to have. He has the mechanical one, so that's even more maybe lighter to him probably, because if you remember, like that actual suit is like kind of like play onto him.
It's like rubber.
Yeah.
It's kind of like rubber. It's like a really hard rubber-ish. Like very loose, like not as rigid.
Yeah.
But it's like very tough too. But like he's also like he's a very powerful human too.
Yeah.
Like was Rhino like that, or is he like a mutant? Is he experimented?
He was experimenting.
Experimented. That would explain it.
Yeah. And that's like reason why he had the medal, because he was trying to get it off, but at the time it couldn't get the suit off. Then we had Vulture. He had cancer, which is why he needs a suit. He has wings. Well, because of the game, he got a new suit, which is more technological. So he's able to throw.
Wait, he actually got cancer because of the suit. Think about it. Because I think they brought that up.
Oh.
I don't know. I could be wrong.
Yeah,
But I think Dr. Octopus was able to make him a better suit. Well, let's just go with that.
he's able to throw his wings, like wing blades at him, and they still regenerate.
They,
so
they actually magnetically retract.
Oh, they retract
Magnetically.
magnetically. I always thought
Because like if you here's like if it's like a metal, you have a metal blade.
Yeah.
It has a magnetic thing on the end. You throw it, then you turn on like you know how two magnets connect. Like they're electrically powered. You turn them on. So he has
I did
magnetically
not know that.
retractable blades.
Interesting. Then you also have Electro. He's pure energy, and the suit doubles his power. Then Spider-Man faces off with Mr. Negative, who would you say kind of like Scarecrow too, because that state he puts him in.
In some way, yeah. In some way.
He also has power of like negative energy. He could create stuff like a demon head, for example, like he does in the game. Not to mention he has his own cartel, pretty much.
That's true.
He has his own crime family, the demons, and he creates this. Well, he steals this from Oscorp, a biohazardous weapon, and uses it to go spread across New York. And finally, you have their leader, Doctor Octopus, who has 4 arms. He creates these because he's realizing he's becoming paralyzed, so he needs a way to walk.
I think he suffers from like Parkinson's or something like that. Like he has trouble like.
Oh, you mean like grabbing?
Uh huh.
And then when he like puts in his head like the chip to help him control the arms, it malfunctions on him. So then it twists his mind into making him think, oh, everyone's so wrong at me. It brings all of his anger out, and then he just becomes evil right after that, and wants revenge against Oscorp, like Martin Lee does. And then the 4 villains are just there because awkward things. And so there's also side villains he faces off. He faces off Hammerhead in a DLC. He faces off with Screwball. He faces off with Shocker, which is I'd say like once or twice in the game.
Twice.
Twice. Oh, the chase and
The chase and then the bank.
Yeah. I want. He also chased after Black Cat, but do you want to think that's a fight or?
She's not like she's just human. She's kind of like
Yeah.
Catwoman. She's basically like Cat,
So just like,
just like those villains. Hammerhead. Like Hammerhead also had like what a robotic body.
yeah, he had a steel plate in his head and super strength.
Oh wait, don't forget Tombstone. Remember Tombstone?
Oh yeah, Tombstone was like indestructible, invincible, however you want to put it, because of a drug he kept injecting to
That
himself.
makes him invulnerable.
Right. Spider-Man eventually found a way to, I don't think cure, but maybe like reduce it, because in the
It
game,
neutralized his abilities.
Yeah.
It just made him a basic human. Like he became invulnerable now. Like vulnerable. I mean vulnerable. He became
Yeah.
vulnerable. He just became like a basic, like no super strength anymore. Spider-Man was able to lay hits on him.
right. So that was the first game for Spider-Man, and I would say it ended on a good note for him. But at the same
Talk
time,
about like how Spider-Man defeated these villains. Like who did he face?
all right.
In the first matchup, he faced off against Vulture and Electro.
With Vulture and Electro, he had to fight them both at the same time. In the game, you would fight one of them and then go to Electro because Electro would be trying to energize himself again. So you would fight Vulture, and then you would eventually have to fight both of them at the same time. But then it's like you pick whichever one you want to face off with, and then they're taken out. So you only have to face that one other person. So Electro and Vulture are both at like a plant. So Electro's zooming around with his teleportation. Vulture's flying around, throwing blades at him. With Spider-Man, with his agility, he's able to dodge all of it. And with his web shooters, he's able to neutralize Vulture from gliding again. And then eventually is able to shoot his webs at Electro to neutralize his electricity to get in for some jabs, eventually taking him down as well. And he finds out that there's more things going on. Scorpions with Rhino at Doc's. He finds out Mr. Negatives with Doc Ock going after the biohazard. So right after that, he goes to find Scorpion. Scorpion sneak attacks him into jabbing him with his poison, which then sends him into a what kind of trance would you put it?
Paralyzing state.
A paralyzing state where he's like going around. He's thinking the floor is acid. He's thinking he's failed his mentor Doc Ock. He thinks he failed everyone else in his life, really. And then eventually he finds a cure while he's battling 3 scorpions in his mind, which was also. Yeah, I actually included a funny gag with Spider-Man and his undies.
Oh yeah, it did. It did. He only had his mask on.
Yeah.
Those two, just on his under.
I like how
mask
he
and
kept his mask.
His mask and his underpants. That was it.
Yeah. That was really funny. I still don't know how he didn't take the mask off though. Like you take everything else.
That's crazy
the
too.
mask.
I always think about that too.
It's weird. He would then go after Mr. Negative, but it would be intercepted by Sable Industries before going in. He talks to Silver Sable. She lets him go, so he's able to run in and stop Mr. Negative. He then is also put into another state where he's like seeing around everyone. Like he's seeing May, he's seeing Feast, he sees Osborn and what he did to Lee and his family. And then eventually he is fighting a giant demon head that Martin Lee made. So after he is fighting all these like I'd say made up demons, like so he's fighting like blue ghosts like demons. He's fighting them all at once. He's also fighting a giant demon head, which is Martin controlling it. He then eventually is able to web everyone up, and then was it like web strike or would be all right. So he spits a web, goes after Leaf, and jabs him in the face right after, and Doctor Octopus is able to sneak up on him, take the biohazard and the cure. He is able to beat up Spider-Man where at the point he's bloody and unable to move. Sable comes in to save him while Ock gets away with Osborn. Then right after he heals up, he goes to create an anti-Ock suit, a black and yellow suit, which should be able, which are like parts from the mech that he has. So he then fights Ock, who lets Osborn go after he sees Spider-Man coming, and they both fight each other. Ock is like electrocuted to the ground at some point, so you have to go in the air with his webs. You're shooting him so you can neutralize his arms, so you can go in for more blows. And then you also have his aerial takedowns where he's like webbing him up, going up in the air, and then just smashing down onto him. And then eventually they both are thrown into the side of the building. So he's fighting him on the side of the building, dodging everything with his senses. He's also webbing him up to neutralize him again to go in for more blows. And then he is stabbed by one of his arms, and Ock throws him into a building, or other way around. Spider-Man.
They both throw each other into that building.
I can't explain enough though how strong Spider-Man is. Like that's a lot of weight you have on.
No, it is. It is.
And he's just like casually pulling it out as he's like he's bleeding, and he just throws him into the building, and then goes right after him, and takes the cure from him, and then he just leaves him there. Like he disables the arms, and he just leaves. So the police come and take Ock away. He's now on the raft with everyone else who was defeated. And sadly, he isn't able to cure May, his aunt. So she dies in that game. And then I think he goes straight into the DLC. He fights Hammerhead, Yuri Watanabe, which was a police captain.
Yeah.
So she was a police captain who was a good friend to him. She eventually goes rogue in the second part of it, and then tries to kill Hammerhead. But because of Hammerhead's plate and one of his goons being there when he was dead, he electrocuted him to bring him back to life. And then in the next part, you have Hammerhead in a cyborg mech suit where only his head is the thing that's still around. So again, Spider-Man has to use his spider senses to dodge everything. He has to web everything up so he can go in for closer blows. And then because of the Hammerhead's steel plate, it's kind of like whenever he gets headbutt, he's knocked back too far. And it doesn't help with the suit either. So we have Silver Sable comes in and lasers him right after that. So Hammerhead's
Silver Sable
out.
also strong too.
I think she is in her way. Like,
Yeah.
she doesn't have super strength or anything, but she is strong, so able to like hold her own. She has martial arts training, and she is a hunter for hire with her own industry. So you would assume so. And for the first game, I'd say that's how it ended. It ended also showing Harry having the Venom symbiote on him as he was dying. So
And then for this one, I'll talk about Arkham. I'll talk about Arkham Asylum and then Arkham City.
Okay.
So for Arkham Asylum, he faces off couple inmates on Titan, which makes him like Bane. He fought one of them in the beginning of the game. He was able to defeat him. Then later in the game, he fought two at the same time.
oh yeah, that's right. You're just mentioning this
Yeah,
before.
and then he fought Poison Ivy, who like he didn't like fight the plants, but he kind of like used his gadgets to neutralize Poison Ivy.
He had explosive gel to spray
Explosive
onto
gel,
her,
yeah.
her, and then he just detonated it in her face.
Yes, and then he fought Bane. He fought Bane earlier in the game too. He was able to land like he threw a battering at Bane's face to like injure his face. Then he like blocks his vision.
And then the Batmobile comes in and slams into the water.
And then like when Batman was fighting Bane, like Batman laid a couple blows on him. He jumped on Bane and like ripped off the tubes so he couldn't like be supplied with venom in his body.
Right.
And then like later when he was able to do that, Bane came back from the sewers. Then he grabbed Batman, and then Batman turned on his car and rammed his car into Bane into the ocean. And then who else fought? He didn't like. He also faced off Killer Croc. He didn't fight Killer Croc, but Killer Croc had an electrical collar on him, and when Batman threw a collar on it, it activated it, which shocked him. So it's like,
It's like electrocuted.
yeah. And then in Arkham City, he fought another inmate on Titan. Then
Oh, wait, did you mention in Arkham Asylum he fought a Titan-based Joker after?
oh yeah, he
injected
did. He
himself?
fought Joker on Titan as well. He was also to do that, and then oh wait, and another thing too in Arkham Asylum. So Batman was able to create a Batclaw which shot 3 projectile Batclaws, and then during a part where he had to get out of the Batcave, he shot the 3 Batclaws onto a wall, and then he was able to rip the wall down, like concrete wall.
Yeah.
Like no one could ever, like no one else could do that. I mean, Spider-Man could,
But human, like
human wise, he was able to splash the 3 black claws into 3 parts of the wall, hold it down, and just ripped it apart. Like that's crazy too. And then he fought Joker, who was also on Titan, and then like during parts, like he would fight off Joker, and then Joker would go back up onto like top of the building, and then when Joker, there was the police copter too, like the news copter. I mean, news
Yeah.
copter, and then Joker was trying to get his attention. When Joker faced the copter, Batman took the back claws again and was able to pull him down. And Joker was probably like what, like 400 pounds, or a lot. He was a lot.
that's just probably over 500.
500 pounds. 500. He was
It
able
might
to
be
pull.
higher.
He was able to pull a 500-pound being
Down
down
to
on,
his
the,
level.
down on the ground, and then he punched. And then later, he took the explosive gel
Sprays it on his
on,
hand.
on his hand into his fist, punches him. Oh wait, no one else did. He also faced off 2 cops on Titan. Remember?
I think.
It was like the 2 guards, the 2 security, the 2 Arkham Asylum guards on Titan.
Oh, before like Joker. was like,
Yeah, he also fought them too. So he fought 5 people, let's say like 5 regular people on Titan, and then he fought Joker on Titan. And then Batman sprayed the explosive gel on his hand, punched Joker in the teeth, it exploded, and he knocked Joker out.
Right.
Then in Arkham City, he fought another inmate on Titan. Then And then in a scenario where Batman was facing off Penguin's goons, he fought 30 of them at the same time. Fought 30 of them, and he able to defeat all of them without a single punch laying onto him. But he did use his gadgets too, but he was able to do it.
I think he also evaded, like he dealt with the shark too.
He punched a shark. He punched a great white. A big, how big would you say it was? Like 30 feet?
Yeah.
I say like 30 feet. Like it was big. It was big compared to Batman.
Oh, a shark.
I mean, yeah.
Batman.
A shark is like bigger than a normal human being. Because this shark was huge. Just probably like Jaws height. It was big. 25 feet.
What if Batman got bit by that though? Like, and then he still kept going.
Batman has his gadgets.
He has his shark repellent.
We're not talking about that. We're not talking about the 6th tier. No. He has gadgets he can use.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
He has
Batman-
batterings, explosive ones. He has his Batclaw. He has his electric gadgets, his ice gadgets.
I mean, he has a suit too, which is also impenetrable.
Right.
I mean, not very impenetrable. It's also to withstand that bite. But also, like, he could get out of it too. Like he just punched the shark, don't lose anything, then swims up. And when he punched the shark, like he laid like a lot of hits on him. He was able, the shark rescinded down into the water and never came back up. And then What else did he face? He fought Ray. Oh yeah, and in one of the boss fights, he fought Ra's al Ghul, which he is a 600-year-old being. He has a naturally occurring chemical. It's called Lazarus, which makes him regenerate his body to have him keep himself younger and healthy. And Ra's al Ghul was a very powerful human too, because he's 600 years old, so he knows every style of martial arts. Like basically the chemical gives him strength too, if you think about it.
Yeah.
It makes him
The-
stronger too.
You also have Batman, who drank like the potion of Lazarus.
Yes.
So he's
Which
like,
also, yeah, which also brought like with like when he fought Ra's al Ghul, like I guess like he brought like into another, where he was brought into another realm, where like
it's all like
basically
sand
just
people.
like a big ass sand pit with elements of Gotham hanging around him, like fragments of buildings, fragments of every like stuff like that. He was able to face off against Ra's al Ghul in a like a sand human too, like sand being too. Like he was able to like form into like a sand creature and like face off against him, and he was able to fight him too. He also defeated him.
It's very similar to Mr. Negative's fight.
Yeah,
It kind of is.
and then what else? Then he fought Mr. Freeze,
That's one
which-
of their
which is
like,
not
best
like
fights too.
what?
That's like one of their best fights too. Because like with Mr. Freeze.
Oh wait, I
His
forgot.
fight,
Wait, I
like-
forgot about the DLC one with Arkham Origins. I haven't played that one. Never Cold Heart.
Oh, I think I finished that one.
I didn't play that one.
It's fun.
I can't get it.
Oh,
And I don't think I have it available anymore. But I do see clips. I do see the videos. But he also fought Mr. Freeze in like a very high powered tech suit. And also, Batman also had a high powered suit too, which kept his body warm, and like as a counterattack against Mr. Freeze, like a heated power suit against a Mr. Freeze. So he was able to defeat him, and then he was able to like at one point where he was under like there was like a glass floor under Mr. Freeze. Batman was like shred the glass apart, picked up Mr. Freeze and threw him. And the suit had probably like wait, like what? 200 pounds? It was it was a big suit. It was
big.
It was a
But
big suit.
Then you also have Mr. Freeze like remembering his tactics. So if you tried the same thing again, he would remember it and then stop it.
And Batman also used other tactics. Well, this is not about Cold Hard Arkham Origins. This is about Arkham
Arkham
City.
City.
Arkham City one, where the suit's not as big, but Mr. Freeze is also a very powerful. He's a very intelligent human too. Like we could talk about who these villains, like what villains that they face up against, like how intelligent they are.
Yeah.
Batman has a very big gallery of high intelligent villains. Mr. Freeze, Riddler, Joker, Deathstroke. I think
Ra's al
Deathstroke.
Ghul.
Yeah, Ra's al Ghul.
And yeah, I would say Deathstroke as well. I would say that.
Who else? Who else would you say is a high intelligent being that Batman's face?
Mad Hatter maybe because
Yeah.
not really
wait,
intelligent.
Scarecrow. Doctor. He's a doctor.
Yeah, sure. Well,
Um,
Mad Hatter is too. In his own way, he is smart, but it's just the fact that he's psychologically insane that it just makes him look like he's more like a fun little villain that he fights. When he's in fact like one of the scarier villains in my opinion. Because like if you get one of that on, and then the like place he sends you, it's the mind control would be. I think Batman would. I don't know what would Batman do if he was being mind controlled. Like if he was under mind control, I feel like that would.
you'd be done.
Yeah,
You'd be done.
this version of Batman would actually
and
kill
then
you.
and then later, Joker. I mean, Batman has fought against Clayface too, which is kind of like he's like Sandman, but his body is like a naturally just clayish, like a clayish feature. And then like Batman also defeated him too.
He's also able to shapeshift. In the game, he shapeshifts into like Joker to make it look like he is cured of Titan. So the entire time Batman is running
Oh,
around.
and in game Arkham City, Joker was dying because of the drug Titan that was in his body, so it was killing him. And then Clayface morphs into it looked like Joker was cured from the disease, but he wasn't.
Right. So I would Batman showed a lot of strength, and so far, Batman showed a lot of strength, intelligence, speed, agility, and of course, you have his gadgets and vehicles when he needs them. Especially in Arkham Knight, where he always has the Batmobile, so they integrate that more into the gameplay.
I love Batmobile.
It's a good one.
It is. And then, so that's what I have to say about the next two games, and then he'll talk about Spider-Man 2, and I'll finish off with Arkham Knight. Because there wasn't a lot of Spider-Man games yet.
Yeah.
But there was because there was Miles Morales one, but he was in like the first 10 minutes of that game.
Yeah, and
He faced up against Rhino.
I'm not gonna include Spider-Man with that part because not only is that not his game, the way they show him is a way to like make it look
It was
like Miles.
he was in like the first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
That was it.
and at the end, like
And Spider-Man 2.
with Spider-Man 2, Peter is coping with the loss of Aunt May. He is struggling financially, trying to survive. He is trying to start a new life with Mary Jane. Then Harry Osborn comes back into the picture, who they presumed was dead or somewhere.
He was
off in
very ill.
Paris.
So in the Spider-Man games, Harry is very ill.
Yes,
He was sick.
He has his mother's illness, which was cancer, I believe. Right.
Just like a disease.
Somewhat
It was
like
a
that.
disease, and his dad tried to find a cure for him.
Right. So they found an alien symbiote with Mr. Osborn and Kirk Connors, who was the lizard in that game. They found this alien symbiote and then put it onto Harry, which at the time Harry was acting normal. He was just trying to recuperate, and then he had the Venom symbiote healing him on the inside, which just kept him stable. Eventually, he was able to get superpowers from it with the symbiote and able to use it as a shield or as a body armor. And then he would help Spider-Man fight a couple of villains, save Tombstone, and he fought Kraven at one point as well. And speaking of Kraven, Spider-Man went toe-to-toe with Kraven while in the symbiote.
And who is Kraven? Let's talk about
Kraven the Hunter. He is one of Spider-Man's better villains in my opinion because of how strategic he is. He's also very strong, and he has his hunting abilities. He has super, what would be like super smell,
he's basically I remember I don't know if this is I don't know how comic accurate this is, but in the movie Kraven with Aaron Taylor Johnson that's
Yeah.
coming out soon, they showed that he was attacked by a lion, and then the lion's blood got into his DNA, which makes and lions are very strong predators. They have better eyesight, better sense of smell, better hearing. They have better senses, and they also have super strength. Their bite is very powerful too. They have claws, which they could climb onto. And basically, I don't know if that's comic accurate. I don't know if that's true comic accurate.
Some
version
iterations.
of Kraven, but it's basically like that. Kraven wasn't. I guess Kraven wasn't born like that, but he was experimented in some way too. He got his powers from another thing, like from an animal, like Spider-Man did.
Yeah. I'd say in this game he isn't. Because they don't explain it enough.
No.
If he's experimented or anything.
But he has the powers of a lion. He has the abilities of a lion. He can jump. He can run fast. He can jump very high. He can grab onto things too.
And I would say he also, well, that's not really a feat or anything, but at this time he's also battling cancer. So he's just trying to have one final hunt before it all goes. And he's hoping that a predator would take over and kill him.
And he was also to withstand Scorpion's venom. And he also killed some of.
That's right. He killed Vulture. He killed Electro, Shocker. He killed
Did they explain?
Rhino.
Did they explain? No, he didn't. He didn't kill Rhino, did he?
I think so. I think they have one of his body armor plates at the area.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh damn.
Most of his rogues gallery's gone. The only people that are left are Martin Lee, Mr. Negative. There's Dr. Ock, who was never taken. And then you also have
Kingpin.
You have Black Cat, who's on the run now. And the Lizard is being hunted at this time. So pretty much most of Spider-Man's villains are all gone. There's new ones that come into the game and will be in later games. And then you have some old ones who will make a return eventually. So it's kind of interesting I found it interesting really, because he killed all of them off pretty much. So into the next game, I wonder who's gonna come in, who is Spider-Man gonna fight, or is it just gonna be story and then side mission?
And then so I saw a part where where Craven was fighting Scorpion, Scorpion stabbed him with his venom, and it didn't affect him at all.
No.
Not nothing. And he even ripped off the stinger.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Wait, did he?
Yeah,
he had a knife. Wait, he cut it off. with a
No,
knife.
yeah.
He cut it off with his knife, but it didn't. Like he was able to grab onto Scorpion too.
The venom didn't affect him.
And then
He-
he grabbed
might have
Scorpion,
experimented.
cut off the stinger and threw him, and then stabbed him with the stinger.
He might have been experimental. Now that we talk about this,
So I'm gonna say
Yeah.
he has to.
there's no way because if Scorpion like stabs him with the venom, if he was withstood it, there has to be something involved with that.
So in this sense, Craven was experimented on.
And then right after this, Craven, well, would you say kill Spider-Man, or would you?
Wait, he's trying to kill Spider-Man?
No, like so Craven's fighting Spider-Man, right?
Yeah.
And Agent Venom, or like Harry Osborn's Venom, is coming into the frame to help him. So before Venom like goes after Craven, he sees that Peter was like wounded, and he's like getting carried by Mary Jane. He looks like he's dying, and as he's dying, the symbiote latches onto Peter, which heals him and makes him his symbiote suit. So throughout the game afterwards, you'll be playing as symbiote Spider-Man. He'll be going around. He'll start being twisted. He'll be more evil. He'll be
More sinister.
more sinister,
More stronger.
strong. He is stronger. He is faster. He has his fire sense increased. His webs are stronger, and he has. I'm trying to think. I lost what I was about to. Oh wait, he has his tendrils, like tentacles, like
Oh,
the stuff that comes out.
It's like those little tentacles that
Yeah.
shoots out.
He'll shoot out symbiote abilities. He'll be able to throw people up in the air and grab them on while they're far away without even using webs.
That's what the symbiotes do, not just him.
Yeah, that's just a symbiote.
It's just a symbiote suit.
And then eventually he will go after a lizard, which is like over time it becomes this huge monster that kind of looks like Killer Croc in Arkham Knight, where he's that level of height.
He's
And-
not a crocodile. He's a lizard.
Yeah.
Just a lizard.
And he looks like a dinosaur. I'm surprised by that too because they made him so huge compared to
I kind of like that because it makes sense if you think about it.
you think
Because
Like,
like if you got a animal's abilities like a lizard, it should like affect you biologically too.
but you think would you rather the way the game portrayed it or would you rather see how Amazing Spider-Man did it?
And I say it's both ways. Like he was big too he was big in that movie too. Not bigger, not as big as the one in the game, but he was bigger.
Yeah. So, yeah, I would say that. And then afterwards, he's fighting with the symbiote suit. He's using his tentacles on him. He's using his symbiote powers, and then he just pins him down against walls, and then he pins him into the floor. And the tendrils are all holding him down, while Spider-Man is able to put the cure in them. And then right after that, Connors, the lizard, his human self, he explains to Spider-Man that they found it was an alien symbiote, and he had to get it off. But Spider-Man was starting to turn. He's starting to say, what do you mean hurt us? What do you mean to fix us? He's now speaking the way the symbiote wants him to speak. The symbiote's starting to take more control of him. It's not the same, and then the symbiote like morphs the suit. Like it's not the regular suit you see, which the black suit. You start seeing like the symbiote have its all like tentacles going over his body and legs, and the symbiote symbol is starting to change too. And then after that, he goes to talk to Harry and Mary Jane, and he's starting to act more angry towards them, saying, "I do all of this for you. Why? What do I get in return?" He's starting to become more vengeful. He loses Miles in the process to Craven, and he's just all anger and hate. And he thinks the symbiote's helping him still, despite giving him all this rage. And right after he finds Miles, and then he finds Craven where he is. Craven has kidnapped Miles to get Peter to come to him. Spider-Man's now this like animal going. He's trapped in a cage. He breaks. This is a metal cage, by the way. This is a metal cage created by Sable with I'd say like bulletproof glass. The glass is unable to break,
the symbiote's like unable to like move, break it through, and then he also has sound playing in the background to torment him. And then eventually, Spider-Man is so much enraged by Craven and what he did to Miles that he breaks out and starts just going at Craven. He starts beating him up while even having sound at him. He's still no match against Spider-Man. Spider-Man's able to take him down and
Do you
almost
think?
kill him
Do you think that Spider-Man would defeat Kraven without the suit?
without the suit. Yeah.
You think so?
I think so. Because even though Spider-Man isn't like he's still stronger with the suit, Spider-Man is still more in control without the suit. He's more intelligent without it, if you could say. Because he's
That's
not in
what
control.
Craven acknowledged too.
Hmm?
That's what Craven acknowledged too. You recognize Spider-Man as an intelligent human being.
Right. Because then he learns from his prey. He learns from what's going on.
Yeah, that's what he's the predator and they're the prey.
Exactly. The reason why he's the hunter. And eventually Craven breaks out where he is. He gets away. Spider-Man's now fighting Miles, and Miles helps Spider-Man take the symbiote off him and break control of it, which is a big feat too because this is similar to like Batman Arkham Knight. We'll get into this part, but Batman is controlled with Joker in Arkham Knight. With Spider-Man, he has a symbiote. He's trying to rip it off. He's trying to take him back control, which is very hard if it's a symbiote because a symbiote goes into your brain,
Oh,
and starts changing
Here,
everything.
can I bring this up too? So in Arkham Asylum, where Batman faced off Scarecrow, too. Like he didn't fight Scarecrow, but Scarecrow like kind of like poisoned Batman to like have him like have like their own like have a different vision where it's like he's facing off against a big Scarecrow, and then like fragments of Arkham Asylum that he has to crawl on to defeat him, and then like Batman has injected so much toxin that Scarecrow said it could drive 10 men insane. So Batman is a mentally strong human being. Very like mentally, not physically, but mentally strong too. Like this is like he was injected with so much drugs it could possibly kill him, but it didn't. You think about it. Like he's like it didn't kill him. Like you said, like
It's able to drive him insane.
drive him insane.
And then
And just for some reason he was able to withstand against that. Like he was able to be normal. So I would say like that's also a strong feature for both. They're very mentally strong too, not physically, but also mentally as well.
I'm gonna actually call it like you're saying they're mentally strong because Spider-Man's fighting the symbiote, Batman's fighting all the venom that's going into him from like all the toxins from Scarecrow. There's so much going on with them with their strength and their mentality, and
Like this is affecting them biologically,
yeah,
and it could like kill them in the process, but it didn't.
these games really represent that well. They really
And
do.
that's why we chose these two iterations.
These are probably both one of their best iterations, if not the
I say
best.
the best iteration.
Do you think so?
Yes. I think I said this in the last podcast where Arkham Batman is the greatest representation of Batman I've ever seen in my life.
Insomniac might be Spider-Man's best one.
And
It
Insomniac
actually
might be. And Insomniac is probably
Because-
Spider-Man's best iteration as well.
I want to talk about this another time because we're already talking about this. But I want to say, what I might say every iteration besides the movies might be best for them because I don't think the movies represent them well enough. I really don't.
I mean, here's the thing, like their stories are very short and you don't get to see a lot of their like they basically in the movies they have more of a story, but in the games you get more action. And a story with it too.
Not only that, but of course,
You get
you have TV shows
yeah,
where
better-
they have more visuals.
you get their combat styles, you get like how they operate, like their gadgets, you use them, like you see like what they use on a regular basis.
Right.
And like I say, like Arkham Batman is the greatest iteration of Batman of all time. Surpassing Christian Bale.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree. Actually, I actually think that's
And
true.
Kevin Conroy
Kevin Conroy
is the best. I think Kevin Conroy is the best Batman of all time.
He is.
Even though he played a cartoon character, he did play in live action, but you didn't get to see him as Batman. Just like you know what in
Well,
Supergirl.
Batman the animated series actually got a movie that went into theaters, so we
Sure.
could technically say that is a movie.
like live action, like they play
Oh.
like Christian Bale, Ben Affleck, George Clooney, Val Kilmer.
Then yeah, you only have the live action CW Crisis One, which wasn't that good, but it told a different version of Bruce.
Yeah, but I would say like going off Arkham Batman is the greatest iteration of Batman of all time. And then I just hope I said this in the last podcast too. I just hope that James Gunn takes inspiration from the Arkham games and the Dark Knight trilogy to incorporate those styles into his Batman universe. And if they do that, I think that would be the second greatest. Not the greatest,
But the second
the
greatest.
second greatest.
I think so too.
And I would say like going off the iteration of Batman, like Arkham Batman will always be the best, no matter who comes later. Like if like Robert Pattinson, Christian Bale, everyone. Like I say, he's still the best. But I say if James Gunn takes inspiration from those two, from the Dark Knight and the Arkham franchises, that will be like the iteration of Batman be the second greatest behind it. And then the movie wise, the Dark Knight will always be the great. But the Dark Knight will always be the greatest Batman movie of all time. No matter what comes, I said that in the podcast, last podcast too. No matter what, Dark Knight will be number one. But if James Gunn incorporates those two, it would be top two for both iteration and movie wise.
My mind's processing.
I know, right?
That's actually good.
I know.
I think if James Gunn does that,
And I still say James Gunn, Alan Richardson as Batman, please.
give me Reacher in a bat suit. Give me that football player in that.
Give me that
castle.
Give me that
that
castle.
bat suit.
Give me that castle and a bat suit. You would never think to yourself that guy would ever.
I'm so shocked.
You would never. Yeah. He played that castle in Blue Mountain State.
It's a funny show.
It is a funny show, and he's also very funny on that show too.
But then
It's like
bring that
here's
Reacher
here's the
seriousness.
thing. Like with Alan Richardson, like I knew when I saw him in Reacher, he had to be on something like with steroids and stuff. And I found out that he's on testosterone replacement therapy. Yeah, yes. But that shouldn't like that doesn't affect my judgment on him playing Batman.
No.
Like, he's not like he's like he's big, like he's on like steroids, but he's also like he looks like that's what Batman looks like. And
Right.
comic accurate wise. Like if you look at him at the comics, like the games, like he looks like that. And I think that's why Alan Richardson play Batman.
He should. And if they don't, I want Jensen, but at the same time, I don't think he's young enough to do it.
And then so
So
it was Spider-Man 2.
with Spider-Man 2,
He faced off Craven.
then he fought Venom. Venom, well, cast him to the side at the time because he was brand new to him. So Venom fought everyone, like all the Oscorp employees, and then he went out to fight and finish off Craven, who eventually died to Venom's.
That's crazy how
Okay.
like Venom, like when Peter had the symbiote, he wasn't able to kill Venom, but then like when Harry got it, he was able to turn into like this big ass alien.
Well, Harry let go. Like he was
did- he
filled
did.
with rage that
He did,
symbiote
yeah.
took over.
That's what the symbiote feeds off of, right?
rage.
That's how it gets stronger.
All the anger and like everything like negative going on with you, it feeds off onto it and uses it as its energy to take over. Like I said, it's a symbiote that leeches onto you and will take over.
It's
over
like a
time.
virus.
Right.
They said it was a virus. That's how they basically put it as. Even though it's like not a virus biologically, but
It's
in the morality sense, it is a virus.
I think that's kind of cool, like a way like for Venom as a villain. But at the same time, it's kind of cool when you are like Spider-Man who's fighting him because not only does he take over like someone he knows, he's also taking over him, trying to at least at the same time. And I think in Spectacular Spider-Man, he tried going back to Spider-Man even after Brock was his host because he thought Spider-Man was the perfect specimen to be used as
Because
a
he's
host.
already super powered human.
Not only that, he had a bond with the symbiote.
True.
The symbiote bonded with him, like knew him on a deeper level than anyone else. So it's kind of like the symbiote always was a friend. Yeah, in a comic actually, before Peter found out it's a symbiote, the symbiote actually was just trying to help Peter.
Yeah.
Like he was just trying to be a friend. And then when Mr. Fantastic told him it is a symbiote, the symbiote didn't want to be let go. And it was just he was locked away. and then the symbiote broke out and wanted revenge. So there's some iterations where it's actually a good symbiote, but then there's also mainly bad. It's mainly bad. And in the game, especially, he goes after Peter. He wants revenge, and he also takes over New York City with symbiotes coming out from the ground and taking over people. And I think, yeah, fire wasn't a weakness for him in this. It was a sound. So I thought that was kind of interesting that it was only one weakness they could use. So they used sounds against him. Spider-Man would then fight Venom. He would go to the end, like Venom would have wings out blue.
I saw it. That was pretty cool.
It looks cool.
It does.
And Spider-Man will also gain an anti-venom suit, which let him fight off against symbiotes and able to turn them back to human. And he would use that against Venom to extinguish that fire of Harry's. So Harry loses the suit, Venom disappears, and Harry eventually dies in the end because of his illness.
I thought he just got sick. He dies. Oh,
Because Norman at the end is upset and angry with Spider-Man that he wants revenge.
I
He
thought,
goes
he,
with
I, thought
Doc.
he, I thought he was. I thought he just got sick again.
Oh no, he goes,
Oh, that's bad.
and that's the end of Spider-Man 2.
Wow. And then in Arkham Knight, and so we'll finish off here with Arkham Knight. He faced off. Again, in some points, he faced off with assassins. Like he faced off like 5 ninjas at the same time, like highly skilled ninjas, and Batman was able to defeat all of them. Then also Batman faced. Here's the thing: Gotham was taken over by like an army,
A militia.
a militia, and Batman was able to defeat all of them in one night.
Not only them, he was also face off Scarecrow, Killer Croc. He helped Mr. Freeze. He was a
Mister, yeah, he did. Firefly.
Firefly, Deathstroke,
Death.
and a tank.
Here, Arkham Knight was in charge of the militia, who was also Jason Todd, who
Red
thought Batman was dead, and who was also Red Hood in the comics, but in the game they just made him the Arkham Knight. And then after the game, like after the story was over, they made him into Red Hood. And then so Arkham Knight was in charge, then he disappeared, and then Deathstroke became in charge of the militia. And then I kind of wish we got a Batman fight.
With Deathstroke.
Yeah.
I feel like that'd be a copycat of Arkham Origins.
I
though.
know, but
Like-
I just want to see that Batman and that Deathstroke going at it again.
I love to, but at the same time, I understand what they were trying to do. They're trying to
True.
do something new. They're trying to implement the Batmobile mechanic more. It wasn't good in the game, but it was good in paper. On paper, I guess. I don't know, but I agree. It would have been nice to see an Arkham Knight.
It would have been.
It would have
awesome.
been amazing.
It would. I think I wish they made that into like the main storyline. If you think Deathstroke was a side villain, he was a side mission. But like if they like incorporate him into like the main storyline, that would have been cool.
Even though like Joker and Scarecrow were like the main part, like the main villains of that whole thing, I think Arkham Knight definitely should have been like the final part because not only is it's his name on the box, Arkham Knight is filled with vengeance. The fight with him is very emotional. So I feel like if they made that the final boss, like Scarecrow and the Joker, thing's gone, it's just Batman trying to get to Jason and change him. But instead, we got Batman getting taken. He's fighting Joker and Scarecrow, and then Red Hood saves him in the end.
And then he fought off a couple villains. He fought Firefly. He fought off a serial killer, Professor Pig. He fought it's my phone. He fought off a preacher.
Oh,
a sinister preacher.
It's like a dark priest kind of thing.
Deacon Blackfire. That
Yeah.
was his name. He also fought Deathstroke. He fought Riddler.
He fought.
Oh, he fought
Azrael.
Riddler in a robot. He fought like Riddler had a robot like he controlled, robot suit, a very big robot suit. And he fought off Riddler robots
Yeah.
that Riddler designed. He was able to defeat them too. He smashed
all
them
metal.
apart. Yeah, he smashed them apart too. So Batman is able to fight off strong foes, even if they're made of metal.
Then also like he fought against Azrael, which was like Batman's like successor from what he was told at least. In one version, he did have to fight him, And
So and like when you play the Azrael side mission, like Batman gives him challenges to see if he's capable of being the Dark Knight. And then Azrael is a skilled martial artist. And then you have and then when Batman tries to figure out his identity, he was a former police. He was a former cop who was taken by like a cult, which brainwashed him and thinking like, oh, like the cult wanted Azrael to kill Batman to take over as the savior of Gotham City. Then you have two choices. Then you like play as Azrael, like earlier in the side mission, Batman took his sword.
right.
Batman hung it on the wall in his headquarters. Azrael took it off the wall, and then you get the choice to kill Batman or to break the sword. I always break the sword.
Well, yeah,
I always break the sword because it kind of ruins like, why would you kill Batman?
you're supposed to be his successor.
Yeah,
if you
like
want
why
to
would you
take
kill
him
him?
out.
Why would you kill him? But like, if you choose the option to kill Batman, Azrael takes his sword, tries to kill Batman, but Batman dodges it, and then he's able to like
Destroy the sword.
knock out Azrael and take him to jail.
Yeah. And he goes back into jail believing he's this brainwashed person, and then just
Even though like Batman doesn't have spider sense, he's very perceptive.
he knows.
He's very perceptive of like what goes on. And then like when you say like when you saw Azrael bring up the sword to break it, like Batman was like
It looked cool.
he just turned around. Like he didn't try to dodge it. He just like he knew he knew. Like Batman he doesn't have spider sense, but he's very perceptive of what goes on. Like he knows like he's able to see it coming from a mile away. So I say like that's another strong feature of Batman too. He's very
I still think the Spire Sense is gonna take him out with this one
that is true.
because it's more quicker. But that's
But we listed off like they're very Batman and Spider-Man are very formidable people. They're very formidable heroes.
they're very intelligent.
Very intelligent, very agile, great. Batman has a great deal of training. Spider-Man hasn't, but he's like when he got the powers, he started to train himself, and which he got better at, stronger, more agile. Like they both improved during their time as heroes.
Right. They were able to learn from the villains and how to fight them off and deal with them in the end.
Like they're not that different.
No.
So like at the end of the day, like Spider-Man and Batman are not that different. They're very they're just basic people, like living regular lives.
They're still human. They still deal with their own problems.
They trained a lot. They teamed up with very powerful heroes. They face off very formidable foes as well. And like their villains are their rogue gallery is not that different too. Not that different, I mean.
They're very different in when it comes to powers and strength. Because if you think about it, Batman's more
Tell me.
okay. So Rachel Gold, Riddler, Joker, what do they all have in common? It's not strength, it's intelligence. With
But alright, let's talk about the strongest villains that Batman has fought.
okay.
Bane,
Killer Croc.
Killer Croc, Deathstroke. Let's see, King Shark. In some cases,
Okay.
I'm gonna
I
say
thought- I
I'm
thought
gonna
we
say
were
I'm
gonna
gonna say King Shark.
Okay.
Let's see, he fought against. Let's see. Batman, Bane, Killer Croc. Then you have Spider-Man, who also face off against
Spider-Man fought against Rhino,
Right.
Tombstone, Hammerhead, Doc Ock,
Craven.
Raven, Venom, and
Oh, Clayface. Like they're not that different.
They're not, but there's one key difference. Spider-Man's villains all have a straight head. They have their own intelligence. They're not insane.
True. Like they're all like they all like
With-
basically most of those Spider-Man's villains have superpowers.
That's why with Spider-Man's villains, they're just in a regular jail, like a super jail for superpowered humans. While Batman, he has an asylum because all of them are twisted. So it's more like a mind and strength kind of game with them. And I will say, I said this before, I'm going to say this again. Spider-Man with his strength, I think he's much stronger than Batman.
That I will say that. I will say that.
He's more fast, he's more agile, and his IQ is actually more than Batman.
True.
And not only that, you have his gadgets, webbing him up, and Batman came to break out. If there's characters like Captain America, Hulk, they had trouble breaking off the webs. So for Batman to like, he has to be very fast, otherwise he's gonna get caught and then he's gonna get webbed up.
I think Batman has better tactics too than like Hulk and Captain America. If you think about it,
He does, but the thing is, Spider-Man, like I said, he is smarter than Batman. He can think on his feet, while Batman has to like adjust until he meets them.
true. I think Batman will be able to like. I mean, here's the thing: if Batman was like based off of like a person for the first time, even though he'll like have struggle at first finding that person, and then he'll get like the sense like, oh yeah, I think I know how he works now.
Yeah,
He's like a computer. Like he's done this a lot too. Like when he faced Deathstroke for the first time, like even Deathstroke was like more. He's the Deathstroke is a more powerful version than Captain America, and Batman like when he faced him off for the first time, he was able to defeat him. Like even Deathstroke was like faster, stronger, and you know.
I agree.
So this is like a tricky argument, but we're gonna leave that up to the audience. Well, actually, we'll create a poll.
I already did create a poll.
Oh, you
I'll
did?
actually pull it up.
All right, pull it up.
All right, let's see.
Pull it up.
I think I know who is winning this one. I'm sorry, Noah.
Also, Batman has faced Superman, but not in the games.
Yeah, that's the thing, because it's games. We can only limit.
We're
to
going
what's
games.
in the
Games.
game.
That sucks. I know. But we're only talking about games in this scenario.
Okay, we're pulling up the poll now. Why is this thing so slow?
My group chat's going off.
Okay. Spider-Man 60%, Batman 40%. Spider-Man won.
Wait, sorry, I was looking at our group chat.
Batman was given 40% vote. Spider-Man was given
How
60.
many? How many?
Five
votes?
responses.
All right, we got 5 responses. I want to see who. Yeah, you look.
Oh.
5 responses. You click on them. There you go.
So we had.
So who's?
I don't know.
I don't know who.
I don't know who these people are.
All right, I don't know who you people are, but you're not educated.
This is a public account, so anyone can do it.
True. You to these people, you're not educated.
What?
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
They're your followers.
I don't know them.
No, I mean, it's a shared account, so it's like they technically are our
Oh, yeah,
followers.
true.
So you're like disrespecting our whole fan base. Well,
I'm
I
kidding.
can't even say fan base.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I know you're. It's fine.
But
That
listen, I'm still saying Batman.
we have our own opinions.
Batman was listen, like Batman was able to break out his stuff too. That's like strong as
Again, I'm not saying either of them are better. I'm just saying who would win in a fight. This isn't about who's better and who's worse. It's about who wins in a fight.
and I still say Batman.
And the audience disagrees with you. So do I.
Oh, what you care about the audience? I don't care. I'm still going off my opinion.
No,
It's my
no.
I still want. Hey, listen. I'm still saying I want the followers to have their own opinions.
And you'd
but-
be happy that like at least other people besides you said Batman.
yes.
Okay. See, there you go.
Well, we're gonna leave that up to you guys, and then I think that concludes our podcast.
Yep, we good.
All right. Tune in another time. We don't maybe next week or the week after, but we'll plan it out.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah. That's how we usually do these things. All right.
On the fly.
Have a good night.
That was kind of like giving Kingpin a little advantage. Not to mention he was getting shot by his turrets. So, and of course, Spider-Man won. He started